Good morning. Let's get straight into it. Some of us are going to experience the worst type of perfect storm. We're experiencing a natural disaster coupled with an economic disaster in or strain from the strikes that are supposed to occur October 3rd. One of the biggest problems with the strike that they're asking for is that they want to ensure that they have job security. Guys, I need you to understand that they are asking for automation to not be implemented in that area. Guys, that's a huge thing to ask for in a world where we are pushing for technology. So there may, I don't see, and you're going to have to really take your time out to look at this, a company saying that they're not going to utilize automation in a way to make it better, because that is a valid argument that, hey, we can automate this to do things a lot faster, a lot better, a lot safer, because this is what technology is there to do. It is to bring convenience. But we understand that with the implementation of technology, that it removes the human element. This means that there will be job loss. Asking for wages is one thing. Asking a company to not automate itself or improve itself is a whole nother question. So Americans are going to feel the weight of this. Now, there is conversation sometimes about, like, well, what can the president do? All right, so one of the things that the president can do, but this is when the strike happens. It's not before the strike happens. It's kind of when it happens. They're going to invoke the Taft-Hartley Act in cases of national emergency. If they go on strike, it's going to be a national problem. It's going to really hit people in the pocket. The president can invoke the Taft-Hartley Act, which allows for an 80-day cooling off period to halt a strike and bring both sides back to the negotiating table. This would most likely be the case of the dock workers strike, which could significantly impact the economy. So there you have it, the Taft-Hartley Act. But that's done after the strike has happened, and probably to see, it's going to be some time, because they want to give union workers the opportunity to get what they can get and negotiate at the table. But you got to ask yourself this question: how difficult does life need to be before the president invokes this act? It's a time-based thing. It's a data-based problem. How much suffering must happen before this happens? Do you do it day one? Do you wait a week? Do you wait 2 weeks? Do you wait 3 weeks? What's going to happen? So that's what we're going to keep our ears open for when we're looking from leadership, when we're trying to see how our leaders are going to do what they do. They also have the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service. The president can direct the FMCS to actively engage in mediation efforts, providing a neutral third party to facilitate negotiations and help parties reach an agreement. None of that matters to me, though, because the reality is, if this party wants this and that party wants that, and you just want to put somebody in the middle to hear what both sides want, but the middle person doesn't have a true say-so, it's just a waste of time. So I don't really like that option at all. And then we have public statements and pressure. The president can use the bully pulpit to publicly address the strikes, either urging both sides to negotiate in good faith or expressing support for one side over the other. This can influence public opinion and potentially sway negotiations. When this strike happens, you better guarantee that it is going to affect you. There will be people who will not feel this because they can afford not to feel this. We're going to experience some different hardships, even right now in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. Those hardships are what's being felt because of these hurricanes that are happening currently and the ones that are forming that we're keeping an eye on up to October 11th. We feel that here. But, you're looking at a state over in like California, they're not feeling that, up in Vancouver, they're not feeling that. things of that nature. So everybody's experiencing or going to experience these disasters differently. So leadership would tell you to, hey, hunker down, but don't overdo it. Think about your fellow citizen. It's super important. Prices will go up because supply will go down if that strike happens. And takes us back to the supply and demand. Ration your sales and learn to live a little minimal than what you used to live. It is so important. Think about one another when you go through these hardships, because if you overindulge, you will create or be a part of the creation of hardship for someone else who cannot afford to overindulge. This is where we are. Do not be prideful about this. Please do not be prideful. We are listening for solutions. And let me be the first to say it if you haven't heard it anywhere. Shame on us. Shame on us for being in the 21st century and not being prepared. Shame on us for not preparing one another, for not doing a better job getting ourselves ready to experience these natural disasters. The economic problems that we're having, they're self-made. And shame on us for allowing it to happen. We are all responsible, especially all of us voting age adults. A lot of the problems that we are seeing today is because we were not involved enough and we did not fight hard enough to be involved. And it is time for us to take accountability for that. If you think I'm pushing for legislative authority for fun, I'm not. It's not for fun. It is literally because we have got to have a forward progressive thought process, not just for technology, but also for how we involve our people in the way technology moves. There is nothing wrong with those dock workers wanting to feel safe and secure in being able to take care of themselves and the people that they provide for. There's nothing wrong with that thought process at all. But the way that we have allowed our economy to go, the way that we have allowed our society to go, has all but halted that. It's gonna feel like the dock workers are against the people, but that's not just the sole narrative. It's absolutely going to affect the majority of us if those docks shut down. It absolutely will. That's not a suggestion. It's not a guess. You stop bringing in goods, the goods that are on the shelves right now start running out. You create a higher demand than you have supply, which means that its value for that supply goes up. It's inevitable. So it is essential that the people take a moment to think about each other. Do not overindulge unnecessarily. Let's see what's going to happen. And I know a lot of people don't have any faith in government and policy. And I feel you on that. But this is the time where we're going to have to really lock in. And we're going to have to see what's going to happen. If you haven't heard of this Taft-Hartley Act, you've heard about it now. So lock in on the Taft-Hartley Act and listen for if indeed it's going to need to be implemented, and start to think about when it should be implemented. Because if you're out there commenting and you're out there bringing things up, you need to know the avenues. That's what legislative authority is going to do. It's going to make sure that you are aware of what we can do and how we're going to implement what we can do. We should have already been hearing this from those people that are in charge, but you know what? It's okay. We're used to it. But I want to tell you that I'm not the type of leader that does not give you our options well in advance so you can know. And yes, this is information that is free to the public to go out and search. But as a leader, you should have to be looking for it. I should already have been briefed on it, and then I should be telling you what we can do and what we will do and how we will implement that as times get harder, to make things a little more easier as we go forward. Everybody stand by, and good luck and God bless. Have a great day.